Hello everyone. Today I will illustrate how to use the function blocks of the machine automation controller NX102-1020 to connect to the Microsoft SQL Express and create a mapping and also insert the data from the POC to the database. I am Trinh, Senior Application Engineer for Valin Corporation. Let's get started. So what I have in front of us right now is the program that I already created in the Sysmax Studio. And also I already created the database connection for this. And I have previous video that show how to set this up. But just real quickly, if I click on DBconnection 1 and I'm going to go online, I can test my connection for the database, make sure it's connected okay by clicking communication test. And it's set test okay. That means I am connecting to the database. All right. So I'm going to show you the program now. So in this program, we have these function blocks that we use. The first one is DBConnect, and that basically allows the database to connect to the SQL. And you notice for the DBConnect, the variable, the tag that used to connect to the DBConnection name is this DBConnection01 that I created over here. Also, on this one, I have a DBConnection name as a tag that tied to that DBConnection. So once the database is connected, this is what we're going to use to create a mapping. In this example, this program, I have two tables that I created here. So that's why I have these two function blocks. You can have more than one table, okay? This table, I name it cookies. This table, I name it process. And in this function block, you notice also I use the tag connection name from the DBConnect and that tied it into the DBConnection here. The cookie is the name of the table. The map variable is the tag. It's actually a global variable that has a structure in it. And in this structure, this is where you specify what variable that you created in the table, in the database. So let's take a look at one of them, which is SQL insert. So if you look at the global variable, SQL insert tied it to the my insert structure. So how is this structure look like? I'm going to go to data type. And in the data type, you see that my structure is my insert. And I have the first element is the name, and that is basically a string. And the next three elements are flour, water, and eggs. And the data type is, the base type is integer. As I mentioned before, I can create another table. So I have my second structure here, and it's my insert number 2. And I have the process as the name as a string, and then I have a temperature and I have a pressure that I want to log as well, and those are integer. So that's how the structure I created. I'm going to go back to the program. So we discussed about the SQL insert for the Mapvar for the DB create mapping. You also notice here the SQL type. So we use the _edbc _SQL type #dbc _SQL type _insert. These are system variable. And because I am creating a mapping, so that's the system variable I need to use. Okay? So that's how you set up the DB create mapping. And now, this DB insert function block is basically allow you to insert the data from the POC into the database for the SQL in this example every time you trigger this contact here. So how do we set it up? For DB insert function block, you again using the tag name from the DBConnect, which is the connection name. And then for the Mapvar, you basically using the structure that I mentioned above, which is SQL insert for this one. The second table is SQL insert 2. Okay? So that's how you set it up. When you finish the database, you want to close it, then this DB underscore close function block basically close the connection. So let's start putting some data in here and then see how it appears on the database. At this point, let me launch the database, the SQL Management Studio. So let me do that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to launch the Microsoft SQL Server Management as an administrator. Also, one thing to note is that you want to make sure your firewall is disabled so that it will work correctly. So here's the SQL Server Management Studio. All right, so this is the NJ SQL Express. I'm going to go ahead and click connect, and I'm connecting. So I'm going to go to my database. That's my NJ database. As I mentioned, I have two tables in here, cookies and process, as I showed you earlier. So I'm going to launch the cookie first. I'm going to right mouse click and edit top 200 rows. Okay, so this is what I have in there already. So what I'm going to go do is to go to my POC, and for my cookies, I'm going to say bagel, and I'm going to give it a value 1, 2, 3. This one I'm going to say 4, 5, 6. I need to hit enter. Make sure it's there. And this one is 7, 8, 9. Okay? So that's for my cookies. And then for my process, I'm going to say test 1. Okay? Temperature would be 109. Pressure would be 45. All right. So these are the data that I have. Okay. So what I want to do next is I'm going to select this input. So turn it on. So it's connected to the database. And if it's successfully connected, you will see a value 1 here. All right. Under the connection name. So I've done that. So the next thing I want to do is to create a map. So I'm going to do this, turn it on. I'm going to do the same thing for my process as well. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and click insert. As soon as I click insert, the data from the cookies and the process will be transferred to the database. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. Now, if I go to my database, and if I right mouse click here and execute the SQL, you will see the data will appear down here. You will see bagel with water 1, 2, 3, flour 4, 5, 6, and eggs 7, 8, 9. If I go to my process and select the edit top 200 row, there you go. It's already appeared because I just opened it up. It will show test 1 of temperature of 109 and pressure of 45. I'm going to do one more. All right. I'm going to go back here and change it to process 2. And this time I'm going to run the temperature at 99. And this one is at 35, let's say. Okay. I'm going to click this insert. All right. If I go to my database, there you go. Process 2 has a temperature 99 and pressure of 35. So that's how you program the Omron Machine Automation Controller NX102-1020 that has a database feature with these function block ready to go to connect to the database and insert the data. If you have any questions, please call the number below. And thank you for watching.